Mykola, you know, I remember when I want to say this war started, but people might not know, and you mentioned it, so I don't need you to explain it again, but you mentioned the war before the war. Like Ukraine has been at war for many years. Russia has invaded Ukraine previously, and I remember when you were a child ombudsman, you used to go to the front and where the war was happening and check on children that there. But when this new war or in expanded war from Putin happened, one of the first things you did before you knew children were being taken into Russia, you also were really concerned about children who were in harm's way in conflict areas, and you moved them to safer areas in your country. And then you did, I think, create a new system, start beginning to create a new system, which is what you're trying to build now to support children and their families who were traumatized by the war and who you came in conflict with. And now you're even, if I've got it right, you're rescuing children right in Russia. You're finding ways to are you up to 300 children, probably more now, 300 children that you've rescued from Russia who were, and as you say, kidnapped, apprehended, involuntarily taken away from Ukraine and brought into Russia. And so you've done all this work. And I don't know in a short space of time if you can describe the system that you've created and that you are creating for children and families in Ukraine.
And I want to before like explain what Ukrainian children experiencing. Yeah, and they have witnessed not only ruthless shelling, rocket attacks, large-scale fires, explosions, destruction, killing and violence. The war has stolen childhood, birthday celebration, time to spend with their families and playing with friends from millions of children, and deprive them of their own bed, a favorite cup, and pets. At the same time, children suffer from the fear of death, the loss of their parents, sisters, brothers, destroyed homes, and their hometowns, separation from their fathers who have defended the country in the rank of the armed forces of Ukraine. And many children separating thousands of kilometers with their relatives, parents, grandmother, grandfathers, and it's a huge loss for development of every child. And in these circumstances, we're trying to build comprehensive approach or comprehensive childcare and family care system, which is helping child to be extracted from Russia or occupied territories, especially that ones who've been abducted, and evacuate children from combat zones. And I will give you some statistics what we are doing. As you mentioned, we have three main pillars: rescue, restore, and rebuild. We rescued 108,000 women and children from combat zones for the last 2 years after full-scale invasion started. We have a special rescue teams. We have more than 60 vehicles, armored car, armored buses, ambulances, and every day we are rescuing these children. Yeah, almost 300 children we've been returned from occupied territories in Russia, that ones who've been abducted. And we provide humanitarian support for more than 160,000 people. And we launched 16 community centers with where every day children can attend this center, and we provide education, hot meals, trauma therapy, and positive parenting program for parents. We have 6 Hope and Healing Center when we provide rehabilitation. It is life in 6 months life in program for that children and families and orphans and children with disabilities who lost everything, who lost their homes during the war, and very often we bring them from danger with nothing. They have nothing in their hands, and they have to build their life from zero. And our services created especially for that children, for that families, for that orphans and children with disabilities whom we want to help rebuild their life and to be reintegrated in the local community. That's why we build these services with case manager, with psychologists, when we can accommodate more than 500 people a day in our 6 home and healing centers. And we provide with food, with everything. It's a special places where with a good psychosocial support and socialization in the local communities. And after that, we reintegrate them into local community. We are building modular houses. I told you about rescue, restore, and third pillar rebuild. We are building modular houses to provide housing for a longer term, a year and more, in 130 modular houses. These houses good for children with disabilities, for people on the wheelchair, and it's accessible with the everything inside, and they can live there more than a year with the financial support, with the psychosocial support. It's very shortly about our model, and not forget, we have a special Hope and Healing Center for children who experience sexual abuse with a team, 20 staff of experts who provide rehabilitation, therapy, and accompany children through the law enforcement system and court system. And we have one special center for the elderly, for abandoned elderly in Lviv region, and we provide accommodation of old people who've been abandoned in combat zones or whom we returned from occupied territories in this center. I can tell you hours about what we are doing and
Yes,
how
you
we are
can.
doing, but what people who listen to us should understand that our approach about saving child, taking from danger, and strengthening families, rehabilitate them, and reintegrate into a local community, and all our services about this.